Hey everyone, this is Ashley with What's Up Under That. Here on my podcast, you can expect to hear about spirituality, love, sex, relationships, dating, but most of all, healing. One of my biggest mottos that I live by is be the change you wish to see. So often we want to see things change or people change around us, but at the end of the day, the only person that you can change is yourself. So if you're ready to embark on this journey with me, stay tuned. Hey everyone, I hope you are doing well. I hope everything is going good for you. So we're gonna do things different this week. I have my Angel Answers deck. So how this works could work one of two ways, or both. What I'm going to do is just ask Spirit what answers do the collective need. If you have a specific answer that you have in mind that you would like to ask, pause it here, ask your question, whatever, and then whatever the cards fall out, that may or may not be your answer. If it is not the answer that it is that you are wanting and or looking for, always feel free to book a personal reading because collectives are not always 100%. Again, that is the energy of the collective. So let's get started. Spirit, what answers do the collective need at this moment? Helpful people. So what I heard before I started even shuffling these cards with theirs could be a project that you're working on. There's something that you are trying to get moving. There's something that you need. I'm hearing two things, something you may need to put a little bit more effort into. And your spirit is saying, feel free to reach out and ask for help. Feel free to find somebody that can give you a bird's eye view from things, because there may be certain things in certain areas that it is that you are not seeing. Something that if you do not catch it in time, it could be costly financial wise. So it's like if you get somebody to take a second look or get a second opinion, this will help you this will better allow you to reduce the risk of losing money. The next card here is romance. So what I'm hearing with this is if you've had questions about somebody you've been dealing with romantically, it could be somebody you've been dating for the past 5 or 6 months, and a part of you, it's like a bunch of different nerves. A part of you may want to rush this situation, and another part of you may want to jump ship. Like you're on edge, like, oh my goodness, what is happening? Is this my person? Like, am I going to find out? Some spirit is saying you're operating very much so in I don't want to say so much lack of mindset. You are operating in a sabotaging, that's the word I'm looking for, in a self-sabotaging mindset. You're looking over your shoulder, you're waiting for the ball to drop, and it's just like one of the biggest things that you learned with love is see things for what it is. Whatever that person shows you, that's what it is, unless you decide to speak up on it and say something. But most importantly, stop over planning. Of course, I don't know. It says most of my listeners is like 28 to 34, but it's like if you're in your 30s, unless that is something specifically that you want, unless that is something that's the goal, I don't know. Me personally, I'm all about dating to have fun. I'm all about, meeting new people and just forming connections. And I say that now because growing up, I was always the type of person where every single one of my relationships needed to be long term. And what that turned into was me hanging on too long and either me resenting my exes or my exes resenting me because I did not know when to let go. And, that's not something that you want. I do believe in some cases, when boundaries are respected, that there are some exes that are able to maintain a healthy relationship after splitting, or there may be some exes that they may not work out romantically, but they do good as partners. So Spirit is really just telling you, be present when you're looking to the past for red flags, or when you're looking to the future for, whatever reason that is may be. There may be things that you may be missing out on in this present moment. So try your best to stay focused and pay attention to what it is that's in front of you, not what's behind you and not what's beyond you. The next card here is opportunity. This feels like an opportunity for a level up. I'm going to get some clarification with that card. Spirit, what is this opportunity that's coming up here? The next card here is perfect timing with this opportunity. So it could be like you're struggling with something, you're struggling with work, needing a raise. I'm also hearing somebody maybe trying to get into an apartment, and it's like you're right at that tipping point where it's like, say you bring in $2,000 a month and you getting a raise or getting a bonus on the next check at that could show like, hey, this person actually isn't bringing in $2,000 a month, they're bringing in $3,000, and that's exactly what it is that you need. But Spirit is saying here, stay the course. You feel like you are at your breaking point right now, especially for those when it comes to work. You really, really do feel like you're at your breaking point, and you're just like, I don't know if I can keep doing this. And Spirit is just like, what you're waiting for is right around that corner. That opportunity that you've been waiting for is right around the corner. We need you to be able to stick it through. Let's get some more clarification on this. And the next card here with this opportunity is forgiveness. So for some, I feel like this could have been a missed opportunity. This could have been something that you missed in the past. 2023, I'm also hearing, specifically in June, there was something that was presented to you. There was something that it was that may have been shown, and you weren't ready for it, and you could have seen other people receiving it. There's just something that it is that you saw, and you were essentially beating yourself up for not taking it. But you also have to ask yourself, could you have maintained that blessing? Was that something that you were ready for at that time? And see, sometimes we always talk about receiving our blessings, and of course, God wouldn't give us something we're not ready for. But oftentimes there are some things that we're not ready for. We're not mentally, emotionally, physically, or financially in a place. I know that happened, speaking personally, that happened with me years back with the car that I had. Got the car, it was a lemon, and it came with a lot. And at that time, I would have needed to get a car from the dealership. My payments would have been higher, my insurance would have went up, and it was just like, at that time, I was not in the mental, emotional, financial, spiritual space at all to maintain that new blessing. Maintaining that blessing would have meant me doing things that were out of alignment with my purpose. And sometimes that's just not what you want. So it's like, it's not so much that, you're being punished for making the decision that you made. It's just you're in preparation mode. And now Spirit is saying you're being presented with this opportunity again, because you have the tools. You have what it is that's necessary to maintain this blessing. And if you feel that you're still not ready, going back to the beginning cards, ask for help. Ask, ask for people like, what did you do to maintain X, Y, and Z for yourself? How did you do this? How did you do that? Is there any resources that you feel would be good for me to tap into at this time? Like, stop. It's good to do your own research, but stop feeling like you have to do everything yourself. There are some people they don't have to do the research because they've done it already and they have the experience. So lean into that. I'm going to do one more card here, and the next card is big happy changes. So there's a lot of change and then transition, within romance, within these opportunities, and there's a lot of big changes happening because you decided to ask for help, because you decided to be open to love, because you never gave up on yourself, even on those times that it was that you wanted to. So just know the changes and the transformations and the abundance that it is that you've been praying for are around the corner. And I know that sounds very cliche. A lot of readers say that, and I'm not gonna lie. I was that person that at times I got tired of hearing that. But it wasn't until, like, I'd say maybe a few months ago that I truly started seeing, like, I wouldn't say that I wasn't seeing the work that I had been putting in, but it was also hard to see it. But it was also, like, the fact that I was so busy and wanting it to look a certain way to prove to people that I was doing the work, that I was not realizing the baby steps that I had made to get me to that point of where it is I was at that time. So trust the process. And the last 3 cards at the bottom of the deck are ask your angels, once again with helpful people. Ask for that guidance. Know and wait. So there may be a decision that you're wanting to make right now, and Spirit is saying it's not the time. If you need help on what direction to go in, once again, ask your angels or ask for help. You don't have to try to figure out everything on your own. Get out of this space of being hyper independent. Get out of this mindset of there's nobody that can help me, because the more that you tell yourself and convince yourself that, you're essentially putting yourself in a cycle of suffering. And if you're saying that you want peace and you want happiness so much, why are you choosing to intentionally suffer? Because when you know and you realize what you're doing, even if you know it does take time to unlearn that, you also have to take accountability for the fact that that's what you're choosing. And it's like, no, it's not going to be easy. Doing different than what you've been doing for 5, 10, or 15 years is never easy. But it's not to say or like downplay or make you feel bad, like, oh, I didn't choose differently this time, I'm a fuck up, or oh, I didn't choose differently, and start beating yourself up. No, but there are just some instances it's just easier to rip the band-aid off. And that's something that I have been learning to do with myself. Instead of allowing my triggers to consume me, or just old wounds that surface to completely take over, I choose whether or not I want to sit in that emotional space. I choose if I'm going to allow that to consume me and allow me to spiral. I can either choose differently, or I can allow myself to go through the same thing. And sometimes I do have to let those waves ride out, and I don't have the capacity to choose differently. Other times I do, and I'm nervous and I'm fearful, but I still do it anyway. So that is your card pull for this week. Again, if you want your own personal reading, head over to my website and book that. And stay tuned for everything that it is that's coming. And I will talk to you guys soon. All right, bye.